Hello and welcome. Today's going to be a bit of a fruity one. I've just finished doing unboxing videos for all of these ships and now it is time to get them placed. Now I have been asked by one or two people if I could try and get them on some of the modular rooftops just to see how they kind of scale. We already know that the quinjet looks very, very good on the back of the Ghostbuster Firehouse, but I have also been asked if this thing here would actually fit somewhere around the Daily Bugle, so I will give that a go in this upload. Then I've got to figure out exactly where I'm going to put this and what I'm going to do with it, because at the moment in time, these two ships the film has yet to come out, so I have absolutely no idea what I want to do with that. I have got ideas for this one with regards to the display piece over in the city, but I don't know if it's going to be too big to dangle off the ceiling, so that probably will not be happening in this upload, but at least it'll get placed in the correct bit. Now the minifigures that come with the quinjet, they are all the perfect minifigures that I want to put in our picnic section, which is this absolute disaster zone over in our Lord of the Rings. This is the area that's been done on the live, that's why that is so messy. So what I do to start with is actually see what these minifigures look like on the inside of this ship, because I've not yet done it. Now this is not by any means a full comparison video, this is just more of a bonus video of what goes where, and I've not even attempted to do it. So if I keep you with one hand, how easy will it be just to put in one minifigure? So we'll put Cap in first, nice and simple, and that is on the stand itself. So we will be able to, within the back of this, we'll have Iron Man, we'll have Loki, we'll obviously have Thor, and then we'll have Natasha driving the jet. Right, scrap that idea, change of plans. So what I've done is I've put the minifigures on the wings for now, so they can just live there and stay there. I'm going to get this on top of the Ghostbuster Firehouse to start with, so you can see what that looks like in this upload, and then we'll see if we can actually get it somewhere near the Daily Bugle. So that is the back of the quinjet. I'm currently stood on a ladder, so I'm about to break my neck, so that's always good fun. And then what we want to try and do is get it over and on top of the Ghostbuster Firehouse. So what I will do is I will place you, because I'm going to need two hands, I'm going to place you hands-free like that, and just hope for the best with this one. So we'll come up and over. If you hear a loud crash and a bang, that will be me falling down the gap, but it should hopefully just fit nicely on the roof. And I think it works really, really well. It gives it a really nice presence up on the top, and you can just see, if I get my hand out of the way for the lighting, I think it looks smart enough. Now this is actually the smaller of the three stands, which is not so much of a slight worry, but it's one of those where, because it is the smallest, it might make the other two a little bit more difficult to place, and it is just luck that this actually does happen to fit absolutely perfect. But which way do you think I should display it? Do you think I should have it landing just like that, so it is facing side on? Do I have it the other way around so you can see the back end, and you could have them potentially then maybe jumping out the back, and you can make a display coming off the back on to the rooftop maybe? Obviously what I do want to use these minifigures for something else, but if we can use them within this part of the city, we can do. Don't forget, this is obviously from the original Avengers film, and they are fighting in a city anyway. But what I might do for now is maybe leave it side on top of the Ghostbuster Firehouse, but I don't know if it gives more of a presence side on, or if you were to spin it round like so and then have it like that. I'm not 100% sure, but don't forget, these wings when you land are supposed to tip just like so. So that is in its landed position. I guess you can see the minifigures a little bit easier facing forward. So let's just leave it facing forwards for now. So the next thing, would this actually fit on top of here or anywhere else around it? Now, this is an easy enough thing to take off the stand. That is as simple as that. You might need to make your own custom stand. However, I will. If you can do it in a way, I think if you wanted it parked on the Daily Bugle for whatever reason, you would have to have it like that. I don't particularly want to let go of it, but I don't know if you can see it from where you are. So what I'm going to have to do is get you back up and come around. So that is what that looks like. I don't know. I think it gives a massive presence. Massive, massive presence up there. So you can, and it doesn't hit the ceiling, so the actual wing is just low enough. So all you would need to do is just build a piece up on there, and it would clip in underneath. I'll see if I've got one. Okay, so what I've done, I've just taken the top of the water tower off, and that is what the water tower is. Now, if I just had that the wrong way, so I'm just going to use that as a base so it does not fall over. I wonder if I can use this as a type of stand, and it can go up its shaft on there, and I can just ram them in. So there you go. So would it stand on top of the water tower? Is it sturdy enough? It's not going to fall off. So there is potential. So if I can move, I guess, the water tower over ever so slightly so the wings wrap around that, so it could potentially park on the top. So all I got to do is take these off, I think. So let's have a bit of a a bit of mocking the first time for everything. Can I make this fit up at the top rather than it ramming the sign? Obviously it might not end well. I have got the instruction book, so got to be careful that we don't ruin it. But let's see if I can grab. I'll put you back there. You have a proper bird's eye view of something that could potentially go very, very wrong. Can I get this up, over and down in the corner? Will it fit? Smashed. So that didn't go well. That did not go well. And there is a bit still on there which I need to take off. And another bit I need to take off. Can I get this to sit? It will, there you go. Hands completely hands-free. So that is what that looks like from the top. Do we like that? Yes, no. I might keep it up there and just see what it's like, but it can park up on the top. I will just need to make sure that I do not lose the top of that, and what I'm going to have to do is obviously manipulate that tower on the other side and move the tower back so it misses the wing, and all I'll do is all the spare parts that I've just taken off, which is only 1 or 2 of them, I'll just keep on the top. So if we don't want to leave that on there, then obviously what I can do is just ripping off. But that does give some serious height on that thing now. So let us know in the comments below if you like that. I can't see it going anywhere else. Again, if you wanted to, you can possibly just make up a thin bit. It just needs to be 4 studs wide, probably more of a circle. Or you can do it as a square, because obviously that stand was a square, and you might be able to build it off from the back with some Technic pieces and just have it flying off there. But I think I might leave it there for now, because I don't particularly want to smash everything else off. I will quickly rescue her, see what I can do, and then we will move on to what we're going to do with these two. With a little bit of persuasion, it's all back on, so it does fit. I have wrapped that figure back round. All I've done, I've just moved the tower a little bit further back, so it's just behind the wing, and she's still up there just about. Obviously I've got a problem with the roof height, but she is still on the stick. So that is all in and secure. Let us know you think I should keep it like that, or if it just looks all right for a couple of photos and I can take it back off again. But it is obviously now a completely superhero land, so we are crossing over all the different bits and pieces, but I think it does give quite a bit of presence. Now the next thing is if I move this stand, which is obviously one of the smaller stands, I think that one, if that one's a little bit smaller, we'll be using this ship on top of the modulars to see what this looks like. This one is the heaviest and the chunkiest of everything, so this is a massive risk doing this, only because I think it might cave in the Ghostbuster roof. So it is overhanging both sides, as you can see, but we can have that like that if we want to for now. So we can have the ships up at the top. I know they might be a little bit too close together, but it does give us that option of it just resting there. It's not going to fall off, and because this is on a spin, we have got the option of doing whatever, or we can maybe have it from the back, just taking off and taking away. But let us know what you think with that. I'm not going to mess around with that one because it is so heavy, and I know that if it goes on any of these, it will just completely smash everything. But this one is teeny tiny with regards to just the weight. So this, we should hopefully, if I can grab it from, because if I grab it from here, it just comes off the stand. So if I borrow this stand just here like so, the stand's interchangeable. Oh yes, they are. So I can actually just use the other stand and have it more flat rather than an angle, so that's always handy. What does this fit on rooftop wise? No. Will it fit on the cinema? Yes, for the cinema it will fit perfectly on the cinema if you wanted to fit on there. All of the other rooftops, to be honest with you, looking at them all now, I don't think they will fit on. You've got obviously some teeny tiny bits on there. The garage, if it wasn't so angled, it would have done. The bank you can't, because obviously you've got the bits on the top. The police station, maybe, if you didn't have a display up at the top on the police station. But I was thinking of actually adding this into our Star Wars section anyway. So what I will do is I will just crawl back underneath the table. And just as elegantly as like that, we're now crawl back under the table. Now, my plan of attack with this one is very much a case of, do we have this in our Star Wars section and it's actually blown up the Razor Quest? and everybody from the team, because I have got all the sets to complete the team, including these two little ones here, are stood around the cantina bar, just wrapped round on that side, so they're completely separate and they're just having a drink, because they did do that in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy films. It doesn't make sense having them in their sort of comic accurate space outfit type things for the city, but we could get away with it being in a completely wrong place, and they are obviously the kind of team that would end up just blowing something else up that's completely wrong. And looking at this now, I have been told that this Mando ship, we actually need to figure out and see if we can get the little one in here with the Mando as well, and just see if that would fit in there. I'm sure you could get both in there. I'm sure we'll be able to fit him on his lap. I am currently desperately looking for the Mandalorian. There he is. So I wonder if I was to place you down just like so, that's my lunch, if we can just get him in. Will he sit and work? Will that shut? No. Question is, will it shut? And it will. So if you strip off all of his gear, there we go. So you have got the little child on his lap, which then means this bit will just come off completely, so you don't have to have that on anymore, and then you can fit the new droid on there. So that is absolutely perfect. Now for the Mandalorian 3, and it does look really smart with those two on the inside together. So this will just be flying around somewhere on our rooftop. So this thing is absolutely massive. It's a very, very big thing. So we'll either have him dangling down from the ceiling, or again we can have them raised up on some clear bits and pieces, maybe like we've done just over on that side. Now with regards to this, I think what we'll do is, if I just pick this up and throw it over to this side for now, and then what I will do is I will sleep on that and see what I think with regards to it and what it will look like, because what I do want to do is have him up. So I've got to figure out how I can make that stand higher. Now I have got spare Technic pieces, so I could make the Technic bits longer, make a slightly higher stand. The other thing that I thought would look quite nice is this maybe on top of the cantina roof at the back, or it could be parked on top of one of the other Tatooine roofs, a bit like what we've just done on that, but on a much smaller scale, just to try and give us some height over within the Star Wars section. And obviously was in the process of trying to do the exact same thing for the Indiana Jones, because we have merged our Indiana Jones stuff in with the Star Wars. So we have a George Lucas lounge where all of this is all food based, and it's obviously all meant for a theme park, so it does work very, very well. But this needs a good tidying, a good bit of TLC before we can take that any further. So today's a new day. Now we've got two options. I think after having a good night's sleep, we can either plonk this over the top of the Indiana Jones stuff, and it can be flying at the angle just like that with Mr. Adam Warlock at the top, and then if we can get that up on a custom stand, what we can do is we can have the Razor Crest blown up in the middle. Maybe we bring it over this way, do the same thing, and you guys and girls can see the Razor Crest on there. Or the other option, which I think now might be a bit of a better option, obviously it's Marvel, obviously we have a big superhero section, and Marvel's all about multiverse of madness, and that's the way it's going currently. Now this ship here, I have not been able to do anything with this ship. Two reasons why I brought this up. Number one, it is a tribute to Stan Lee from the Lego Movie 2, because Stan Lee had passed away, so they had actually incorporated that in, because that is supposed to mimic the gauntlet from obviously Thanos. So if you can start to think about it, that's your thumb piece and that's your knuckles at the front, so that's why that is for. And second, it is piloted by Chris Pratt, and it's also piloted by Chris Pratt because he plays and voices over Rex and Emmett, which are on that rooftop just there, and they do come with their own two special uniforms. You can see them just at the top there, hopefully, so you can see Rex with the stubble, and then you've got Emmett just there, and you can have them either over the top of that green table, high up, flying into each other or past each other or doing something, because that's potentially where all the Spider-Man bits and pieces are going to go. So two options with that. We either have it over in the Star Wars section, we have it raised up over the top of the Indiana Jones, and that is the ship that has blown up the Razor Quest, or we have it over with the Marvel section, which I am favouring, to be honest. I can then rebuild up that fist, actually have a plan of attack for it, and that fist, funny enough, does scale very, very nicely with the other sets as well. So they're about there or thereabouts that size. If I can find the box and the instruction manual and everything else, I will do a proper show and tell on that once it's been repaired, because it has got a little bit damaged, which is a bit of a shame. So I see if I can work on that. But I won't move them anymore until you guys and girls let me know. So we'll save that to almost like a separate part for something completely different, because to get these two things placed high up, they're going to either need to have custom stands. I can't really dangle them directly off the roof because that is a long way for them to fall, so we will have to think of something. So that is up to you. Do we go for option A, which is the Star Wars display, or option B, which is the sort of multiverse of madness Chris Pratt crossover, which is just gets worse and worse every time I say it. I pulled the figures off the rooftop and I didn't realise that they are actually all different versions of the same person that voices these. So Chris Pratt voices every single one of these. This one there and this one there are both from the Fist. This one here is actually from Benny's spaceship, which is this thing just here, which now I can actually get done and built. They come with limited edition characters as well. You've got all sorts of different bits and pieces in there. So I can hunt all of them down and try and do an unboxing video for that one as well. But it does now mean that we could get all three of those spaceships over to the side. Now this beautiful thing just here, we have got the option, if we want to have that over the top of the bar as a good little bit of theming and scenery, so that can be flying down. So I thought you might be able to get some nice photos, and we could always have the car in front of it, which could then be a photo opportunity where you could just have the minifigures sat in it, and then we could just have the Indiana Jones characters stood around the bar instead, rather than me saying doing it with all of the cast and crew from this, because they're in their sort of different outfits. They could be stood around the bar, but maybe we can just have the Indiana Jones characters stood around the bar. And obviously we have got the Indiana Jones set just there. If we get that right and we get the plane slightly higher up, then potentially we could get that nice angle where it's mimicking where it's going through the tunnel, but instead of it going through the tunnel, it's just flying over the bar. And like I said, you can get your photos. Now again, with this is up for debate. Now this video is going to be uploaded before the film goes live. The film hasn't yet been shown. That I think is going to go over there. I just don't see why it shouldn't, unless you think it would be better over here. This, on the other hand, I have no idea what to do with, only because I don't know how important it is. I don't know if they split the teams up. I don't know what they do with this ship. So we could, again, if they are side by side and they are important with each other, and then obviously what we can do is we can have that over on that display, or we could just have this flying over that sort of way where it is with all of the sort of the Guardians type ships. That won't be too much of a problem. So that, if you're watching this from the future, let us know what I can do with it. If you're watching this on sort of day one upload, just have a think. Maybe we just hold fire. Maybe we hold fire on that one. Now we know that this thing here is going to go up and dangling off the roof. We're actually waiting really for the main event, which is going to be the massive block of cheese. So if you know what that is, you're in the know. What I want is I want a nice big, like almost like a UCS size ship, or like an Imperial Star Destroyer play set size, where it's slightly bigger and it'll just cast a nice shadow, and then we can have all the bits and pieces underneath, and that'll be our floating cheesecake factory. Yes, I know. But don't forget, it is all to do with the theme park. So that I think is covered, because we can't really do too much with this until this all gets tiled. Once I've got the one or two bits and pieces with this, I think we'll just do it all in one hit. That, on the other hand, can get going straight away, depending on where you guys and girls want it. Coming around for a bit more of a city update now, we have got this piece here. It's going to be where the roller coaster is going to go, so that's why that's just been dumped there, because I'm not going to place anything until I get the roller coaster. I don't know how much space is needed, but I am going to keep that angled, and I am going to keep that over there. And I have placed the gaming truck just behind, if you can see, so you can actually get some nice photos through. And again, all of the base plates will come down on here and they'll get tiled. So again, we'll like rip these base plates up, for example, and tile it properly over that side. This is our live zone, so this has all been done on the live. So slowly we'll get this done. We had it in the River Rapids. There is a boat down there that's fallen over. This is ready to go for the Jurassic Park stuff, so I'm looking forward to getting that done. That'll be where all of the new sets come. And then this green table here will be hopefully potentially for the Marvel expansion, and now we could have the ships above that higher up. I will try and get them on the maybe clear stands if I can, or extend these stands a lot higher, because I do have a good few more Technic pieces. If I can figure out how to make those much taller, we can just have the two stands on. And if the Fist will take a stand, we do currently have the spare stand from the Quinjet, so I can just use that. So that'll be that stand just over there. And then with this will just expand gradually as we go. But guys, I think that's it. That is it. I am done. So all I need to know from you, Marvel, Star Wars display, option A, option B. Do we want something like the Indiana Jones plane over the bar for a photo opportunity for the theme park? And it's just lots of little silly bits and pieces like that. But guys, if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.